My name's Eric Elder. I am the supervisor here with the solid waste department for the city of Abilene. It's a really different kind of job. It's not for everybody. I can't tell you how many people we've gone through spend 2 or 3 months training and they come in. We just had one recently, said this job's not for me, I'm sorry. We get that constantly because there's so much multitasking that's involved, and not just learning how to drive the truck and learning how to operate the vehicle and its operating systems. You got to know the hydraulic systems. You have to know everything on this truck to be successful and to do your route in a timely manner safely. And it's a huge task and undertaking, and the training itself just takes anywhere between 8 to 12 weeks depending on the person. So, and even when they get out of training, they still are going to be heavily watched because it's just going to take time for them to work out the bugs. It's just the way it is.
Come on, tire guy.
Start out about 4:45 in the morning. It's still dark. They get out here and check their trucks. They do pre-trip stuff like that. Like I said, they get here at 4:45. They're usually on their routes by 5:15, 5:30 in the morning. And we usually run in these alleys until 8, 9:30 in the morning when it gets light outside. So we're out there for 3 hours at least in the dark. So it gets complicated. We got tight alleys. We got a lot of alleys that need a lot of help. And it's more of an obstacle course than anything for these drivers. A lot of hazards.
This one's not too bad, but we'll come across some that are just, I mean, you have 2 inches on this side and maybe 2 inches on the other to grab these cans, and it can be quite nerve-wracking.
Alex, have they got that road? It would be, I guess, to the north of that alley. Have they got that road open where you can come out of Chimney Rock?
She was having to constantly get out and turn containers. There's the containers that are not out, she constantly has what we call trouble spots, and she'll ride up and she'll probably come in with 15 to 20 a day. And what we like to try to do with those, we send our poly guys out there to go out there and see if we can't switch the containers out so it keeps the complaints down and try to keep the customers happy as possible, but it's not always the case. So sometimes we just can't get to them. But yeah, it's a huge obstacle. So it really slows everything down. The whole thing's an obstacle course. It's different every single day.
300 full mid replaced.
Spacing with vehicles and containers that you roll out to your curb is, we try to have them 4 feet apart, at least minimal, and at least 4 to 6 feet away from vehicles. Because anytime it's closer than that, we're not gonna take the chance with those claws that come out. You know, they're automated. They're not completely controlled. You hit a button, they come out, and there's nothing stopping them. So we don't like to get close to any vehicles at all possible. Each driver has a Monday, Thursday route and a Tuesday, Friday route. Depending on which route it is, some routes are shorter than others, but you're looking at 10.5 to 12 hours a day per route, assuming we don't run into any trouble. The driver doesn't have to get out constantly and turn the large black trash cans that are in the alleys. We have a lot of those where the drivers have to get out, they constantly have to turn those around, or we have people parking in the alleys and stuff like that constantly. And if everything runs smoothly, you're still looking at about a 10.5 hour a day to 11 hour a day easy. We have some alleys that aren't that bad for some routes, but mainly We do got routes. We got trash cans that are pushed up against fences. And when the driver is coming up in the middle of the night and early in the morning, and he's trying or she's trying to dump a container, they're not always going to be able to see that. It's an operator thing. Those cans are black. It's black off in the distance, and here goes a fence, or there could be a gas meter sitting right there on the spot and not know it. So especially if we send a help route. These guys are sending help routes. They might not have been on that route for 2 months, 2 weeks. Then all of a sudden he's back on that help route, and then that's where operator accidents will happen.
We can't hit a fence, you know, so we have to be far enough over to the left in order to get our arm out far enough to get the can.
Yeah, gas meters are usually known, fences, stuff like that, but surprise is usually dead animals. We've gotten a few of those in the middle of alleys and having to send animal control to come help out and clean those up. People sleeping in trash cans, we've experienced a few of those. It's a number of things, so it just varies.
That was definitely an animal.
Other than we have extremely tight alleys that our drivers run in the morning when it's still dark. And it takes, say for example, we get a new driver. We stick a driver in one of our toughest routes. We don't have a choice in it, it's just what's next up, right? So it's gonna take him or she a year to a year and a half to get acclimated on that route where they know where all the trouble spots are on that route or on those alleys. That's a huge learning curve for these people because they're driving, they're operating, they're having to watch for literally their surroundings and everything. So they're multitasking galore. And so when they're having to do stuff like that, it becomes, like I said, about a year and a half for people to get to know the route well enough where we're not having to run into so many issues. Some routes are cleaner than others. It just depends on the day and every day is completely different. These drivers come in every single morning and every time it's different for these guys. And when these guys get done with the route, if they get done early, we send them to go help other routes to try to help out get done with the day. Because if we didn't do that, we're not getting out of here until 6 o'clock, you know, in the evening. It just makes for a very long day. Most people, I don't know if they just don't think about it. When you put a mattress, especially a large mattress, and you try to shove it into a dumpster, it's not going to work. The driver can't empty it. Then we have to send extra crews out there to get them pulled out and then send the driver back out there to empty it. It costs us more resources, more time. And again, with the whole time issue, here we are. So the illegal dumping is a huge thing here in Abilene right now, and we're doing everything we can to try to help with that.
With a tight early, so you don't have to worry about getting this little alley right here either when you come off of Danville with it.
House. I'll send it to Eric. Say 20th and Meander does not have their can out. Well, those are boxes. They filled up that box with trash. So I'm gonna get the exact address.
Okay, ticket.
So to get the exact address, I have to use my GPS, and I just click on the house that it's behind. My canvas was telling me you need to slow down over these bumps.
you're dumping construction material, sheetrock. Most of the time it's fencing material, planks, whatever that is, flooring material. When you dump inside these trucks are going to get stuck and get jammed, and then we have to call a crew out from the shop to meet us at the landfill and open the back hatch of this truck. And we just killed 2 hours just for a jammed truck. And then we get back on the route, and that's flat tire. I mean, it just goes and goes. Every day it's a fight every day.